Well, good evening. Normally it would be a good morning on our end, but we're doing this on a Monday night because
We,
our
we, we
schedule
got
our
some
schedules suck.
we got some catching up to do here.
Uh, well, so over the last month we've had a lot of things going on. I've had some personal stuff going down. Tim has been on vacation. John has been on vacation, weekend trips. So we kind of been behind a little bit, but we're here. So we're minus one tonight. He's working
We're
his part-time job. So
we're sort of here, and I'm not going to continue that statement.
yeah, well, we're here. Me and you are here. Two's better than none. Um, but
Or one.
yeah, I mean, I
I
could have
wonder how
done it.
this show would go with a one person.
There'd be no debating. I'll tell you that.
Great. So just you spewing some BS.
Pretty much.
Oh boy.
Um, so
Oh boy.
another show where I don't have any graphics, but we have some topics that we're gonna get on. I can share the screen, and I will make sure that we thank the ones that are there for it. Uh, let's get right into it. Since our last
I
show that
would
we
uh
did,
I would like to start off with something a little bit special.
yeah, what's your special?
And my special breaking news here is I was right. I was always right, and I was always going to be right when it came to Juan Soto getting traded.
Well,
You
we're
two
gonna.
doubted me. You two doubted me. You thought it wasn't going to happen. You thought that San Diego wasn't going to give up enough. You thought Washington wasn't going to be able to pull the trigger.
Well,
It happened.
Well, it was
Happened.
looking
And I told
well.
you it was going
Well,
to happen.
hold on. It was looking very grim there for a little while because the whole Eric Hosmer deal.
Yeah, but the deal was going to happen regardless.
Well, I know, but I mean, we were sitting there in our group chat talking about it. So, if you've been living under a rock and haven't known what happened in baseball over the last month, their trade deadline was August 2nd, and Juan Soto went from the Nationals to San Diego with Josh Bell. In return, there was a bunch of prospects involved. And one of the pieces in it was supposed to be Eric Hosmer, who had a no trade clause and said, in layman's terms,
He,
go pound sand. I'm not
and
going
even
to
more late,
Washington.
and even more layman's terms, it was LOL. Nope.
Yeah. Um, before they even said that the deal was still going down, we weren't even sure because there was no announcement that this deal was going to be able to get finished without Hosmer at first, and then they came out and said that the deal was going to happen. There'd be a different piece included instead of Hosmer, and Hosmer ended up getting traded to the Red Sox anyways for some cash.
As
So
a GTFO, we got our new first baseman, and yeah, I was gonna say because not only it was Juan Soto, it was also Josh Bell, which was the big kicker there for them,
yeah,
getting able to swing at both, but also giving up, the majority of their prospects, hoping that they would get a key piece back in Fernando Tatis, but
yeah,
ringworm,
we're gonna
ringworm,
get into that in a different.
ringworm.
Yeah, we got a different category for that we're going to discuss some of that on too. But we just want to talk a little bit here about the post trade deadline. Phillies made a couple solid moves. Syndergaard was one of them, and then the other one was Brandon Marsh and David Robertson were the other two. So they improved drastically with some of their acquisitions. The Mets are the Mets. They did what they did. The Blue Jays, yeah,
Blue
meh.
Jays just did, man. The Dodgers went out and got Joey Gallo, and funny how that worked out, where the Dodgers
Yeah.
have won, like 41 of their last 50 games, and the Yankees were, on a 2-for-9 skid. So, maybe
And
Joey Gallo was the glue that held New York together.
and the one that kind of, I mean, it didn't really shock us, but what has happened since then was you got the Orioles who traded away all their like big name players, and they decided they were going to get hot after that. So they're in the
Yeah, I
they're in
still
the
think
playoff
both
hunt.
those trades were pointless.
Yeah. Trey Mancini got traded away, which everybody's feel good story, but dumped him, and then all of a sudden, hey, we're going to trade our closer.
And their all-star closer, the only all-star
Yeah.
they had on the team.
Yeah.
But let's also talk about here. We kind of dump on the Reds a little bit, but they got a good swing there when they traded. I'm gonna butcher this guy's name, but is it Malley? Mahley, whoever it
Uh,
was the starting pitcher. They
yeah,
traded him to Minnesota for 3
yeah.
prospects.
Yeah.
And then
Male,
the
I
Braves
think.
went out,
Yeah.
got Iglesias, yeah, something like that. So they they got some pieces back. I think the biggest one though that shocked me was Montgomery getting traded from the Yankees.
Yeah, that one kind of surprised me a little
That one
bit
was a little
too.
strange.
The one that I didn't understand was the Blue
Yeah,
Jays acquiring Whit Merrifield and then turning around and claiming Jackie Bradley Jr. right off of waivers right after that. It's like,
yeah.
what?
Who knows? Yeah, we don't know. Who knows? I mean,
We're not
I
the
don't know.
owners of the Blue Jays or the general manager of the Blue Jays, so that's not our call. But the trade
Yeah, I'm
deadline was
just
very very eventful. Oh, but we got to make sure we mention it. Only one team did not make any moves at the trade deadline, and that was the Colorado Rockies, and they're showing it with how bad that they suck right now.
yeah. I mean, the Rockies have always had a thing with not trading guys or getting guys when they should have. I mean, they had a chance. They had multiple chances to trade Trevor Story before he became a free agent, and instead they let him walk for nothing. So I guess Rockies are going to Rocky.
Yeah. So, but trade
Let's
deadline
see.
was
Just going
eventful.
through the rest of the trades here real quick.
Yeah, there was a lot of trades involved on that day. It was
I mean, the
like
NL East did a lot of bullpen moves. Mets getting a
every
couple of relievers there.
in all honesty, every team that is
Uh,
in contention for the playoffs or whatever, or contenders or whatever, all made at least one trade that benefited them for the playoff push. And the teams that are pretenders, they're pretenders for a reason. So
they sold, yeah.
yeah.
So let's see
Other than
here. Well, they I think that was it's kind of like the movie Major League where the owners like intentionally trying to tank the team, and all of a sudden they go, you know, what we're gonna do, we're gonna win the whole effing thing,
yeah,
and
good
that's what they're
movie
gonna
though.
do.
That was a good
Great
movie.
movie.
Second one was even better. Third one, terrible. Back to the minors.
Yeah, third one that was bad. That we don't speak of the third one. So let's
But
see here. So we did some deadline. We harped on how I was right, and I think that's it for living in the past.
yeah, well, like I said,
What
in our group chat when it came down to that trade, until we were told straight up that whatchamacallit, that Hosmer not being in the deal wasn't going to affect it. Like we were like, wait, what?
Eric Hosmer's about to get hated by 2
Oh,
franchises.
and actually, so obviously with us being Phillies fans, we were talking about the Phillies trades, and it was looking very grim that they were even going to go after another starting pitcher. Turned around, they pulled the trigger on Syndergaard. I know them
Which,
losing Moniak was kind of like but
meh, it's nothing. And then I wonder if that kind of built up some rapport there real quick with because the Marsh trade came first,
right,
and that was for O'Hoppe or
yep,
O'Hope or whatever you want to call him. And I'm kind of shocked that they didn't try to do all of that in together because I
yeah,
thought that's how that deal was going to go. But then last second, you go, how about we just swap failed first round picks?
yep.
Oh
Well,
wait, no, I'm sorry. That was for Syndergaard. Yeah, so
yeah.
they essentially ended up swapping them.
Excuse me. So, um, we like Syndergaard. Sounds like he wants to stay in Philly. And Brandon Marsh, other than him getting hurt on that play in the outfield, he's exactly what they so
What you
far
needed,
went for. He's a good
young
outfielder.
guy
Okay bat.
under control.
Yeah,
That
okay
below
bat. But he,
average bat, if anything. But
I
he's a
must have said, I
defender.
must have said okay. But outfield wise, spectacular playing in the outfield. And if he does get on base, he's got speed. So they got another guy that can steal some bases. Syndergaard just gives up a lot of choppy hits. That's nothing to be
I
this
think the
proud of.
last start with him was probably where he got rocked the most.
Yeah, but I
So
mean, you figure his first start with them, had 9 days rest and he gave up 11 hits and they still won. So didn't really. He only gave up one run on those 11 hits.
something like that,
Nothing.
yeah. But they were all
Nothing.
kind of cheap hits. Like
Yeah.
none of them were barreled up.
Yeah. So it was nothing to get worn out about. But with that, I mean, for our next show, I'll have it updated. The standings are just absolutely insane right now.
Yeah, they've flipped.
They,
It's
I
all
mean,
flipped.
so far my World Series pick of the Astros is still probably the best team in baseball. So,
And I think I picked maybe the Twins or the Blue Jays, and that's not looking so hot.
yeah, I'll have to go back and watch the first show when we did that. Um, but the trade deadline can make or break you, and as of right now, like you're talking in a wild card for the American League, you got the Rays, Mariners, and Blue Jays with the Orioles only a game and a half back, and then the Braves, Phillies, and Padres in the National League with the Brewers a game and a half back. So everything's starting to get a little bit tighter as the season goes on here.
And who would have thought with the Brewers unloading Hader when they did was for the best?
Yeah, the guy wants $14 million. I wouldn't want to sign him either.
I mean, not with a 25.92 ERA.
Yeah, and then you got a guy who was your number 2 closer before for dirt cheap, essentially. Like, I don't even know if he's clearing like $5 million a year. To be honest,
Williams?
With you. Yeah,
I don't know, but when they swapped Hader to San Diego, they also traded for Rogers, so it was the first time that like 2 league leading closers were swapped for each other, and then San Diego clearly got the bad end of the stick on that one so far.
So, well, we're going to go from the big leagues to the little leagues, Tim. Since we talked a little bit of trade deadline, let's talk about the Little League World Series. I don't know how much of it you watched. I watched actually a good amount of the Hawaii games, and they could arguably be one of the best teams in Little League history.
They could. What was it? They won combined score is 60-5.
Yep.
They mercy ruled just about everybody, and didn't they win it a couple of years ago?
Yeah, I forget how long ago they won. That was their 4th title, for the state to win. Dude, I watched them in the first couple of games, and their pitching was just unbelievable. Those kids just played.
Well, I mean, they're all pumping 70 miles an hour from 50 feet. Or no, it's not 50. Or what are the
dimensions? 46.
It's 46. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 46.
So it's like the equivalent of trying to hit like 110.
Yeah. But even their bats, like, dude, like I said, I don't know how much of it you watched. I watched early on. I watched a lot of the games, like the elimination game and stuff, because they were a lot. Some of them were pretty intense, some close games. But Hawaii just put a beating on everybody, and it was impressive to see. I mean, in Little League, you don't often see a team this dominant, and we got it. They got one. We got a dominant team with them.
And then in 10 years, the ESPN 30 will come out, and then maybe 2 of them are over age, or maybe they did the Chicago thing where they intentionally redid the boundary lines, and but for what it is, like, it's a feel-good story. Hawaii's coming out just absolutely backhanding everybody.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of it, unfortunately, but I did get to see the highlights, and every single highlight was Hawaii.
Yeah. That's hard to not, though. I mean, for how good they were.
Yeah, when you score, I wonder what the record is for most runs in a tournament trip.
I'm not sure, but they had that kid from Utah that got hurt. He fell off the top bunk.
Or did he get hit in the head like during the play-in tournaments, and then he fell out of the bunk or something?
I don't remember. I don't know the whole story. I saw he fell out of the top bunk. I saw he was going in for surgery to repair his skull because he did some pretty good damage. But kudos to the Little League for letting his brother play for him instead. I think he's younger. I could be wrong. But they allowed him to come and step in for him, and kind of brings a little feel good of what baseball is to the sport and how cool it was that they allowed that to happen. And then, we had the kid who got hit by the pitch in the head early in the Little League tournament, and the batter went to first base and came over and hugged the pitcher for emotional support, because he knew, like, hey, this wasn't intentional. I didn't mean to do it. So kudos to both those for it happening. Hope the kid from Utah feels better, and it's one of those moments that makes you like the sport a little bit more.
So let's see. So I did find a little bit, and it's also cool what Major League Baseball does when they have the big leaguers sitting there and interact with the little leaguers. And what was it? Was it Cedric Mullins of the Orioles who asked the kid who was the pitcher for his towns or his state's playing game, and he had that kid sign the big leaguer's cap?
Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
And that,
Um,
I mean, that moment's just pretty cool.
they announced that next year's big Little League Classic game up there is the Phillies versus the Nationals. So
There we go.
that game's
Okay,
only
so I
open
found
to
it.
little leaguers. So
So team batting World Series, the most runs ever in a World Series was 62,
they were too
and it
short.
looks like so it looks like Asia Pacific, Chinese Taipei, Chinese Taipei, and then the Dominican Republic and California in 2012. So it looks like a couple have had a shot at 62 there, but that's the record for
Well,
most runs in an entire tournament
I mean,
or in the
not
World
just runs.
Series.
I mean, it's not just runs scored in the World Series, but like even defensively for them to only give up 5 runs and 3 of them were in the championship. I'm pretty sure. I think they won
Yeah,
like
I
13 to
think,
3.
or like, yeah, I think it was 13-3. Yeah,
I mean
so
that says a lot.
yeah. I mean that's just dominating. That's just when you walk on the field and you know you're gonna win, and
Yeah.
it's a good feeling. That's for sure.
But yeah, so next year Phillies Nationals. I might go up for the little league games and see if I can hang out with Bryce Harper and slide down the hill.
There you go. Who,
Game's
and
not
all of
open
a
to the
sudden,
public though. That sucks.
the ESPN sitting there going, What is this man annoying? Oh my god, he broke and this man broke Bryce Harper's leg. Oh my god, he broke Bryce Harper's leg.
Yeah.
This
I do
man
my
with a
luck.
racing hat out in right field lands on Bryce Harper.
Yeah. I mean,
And
some of the big leaguers that were going down there from the Orioles, like they were not sticking to that cardboard, were they?
I was going to say that. I mean, I don't understand how you're able to stick to the cardboard. I mean, all of it just becomes mud. If it rains, it just becomes straight mud, and if it doesn't rain, it's rocks.
Yeah, I want to talk about that for a little bit. How about? I mean, dude, their schedules were so messed up because of all the rain that they got up there. Constant having to postpone games the next day. Like, what was it? One of the games went to extra innings. It was supposed to start at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The day before, they didn't even get half the game in. Went So they had to restart it the next day. It got tied and went to extra innings. They had another rain delay, and
Oh my god!
it ended after 3 p.m. the following day. It was like a 24-hour baseball game. It went 11 innings. I forget which game it was.
Oh jeez,
Let me look here.
that's a little too much right there. I mean, I understand you got to get the games in and all, but come on, man. Kids got to get some sleep. Kids got to go to school someday.
Man, this is gonna bother me because I remember seeing it. It was early on.
Yeah, this one's all you, man.
Well, give me a second here. I'm looking at the bracket.
I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here debating, tweeting at John Kruk because Kruk wants some Twitter interactions during the Phillies game today. So
Go
I
for
got
it.
my Twitter up.
Trying to see here.
Tweeted.
Okay, that's the regionals. Eventually, I'll find it and it'll dawn on me. But I just remember sitting there watching it, and I was just like, I want to say maybe it was the Tennessee. Well, whoever it was, dude. It was a marathon.
First South Hawaii, Tennessee, Hawaii. Yeah, I was gonna say I just Google searched long Little League World Series game, and that didn't quite help out. Didn't really do much there.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time finding it too. So, yeah, it was
moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Sorry, I mean, I just that was one of those things that just dawned on me, and I was just like, oh, there was definitely a game that was like legit. Like, so I found something else here. Let me see if I can. Might have been the Japan Latin
Twitter.
America game. I might have been the Japan Latin America game because it, like I said, there was a lot of scoring once it went to extra innings. I saw that one was extra inning or high scoring. Anyways, well, I'll just skip it. We'll eventually.
Honolulu versus Texas in the Little League World Series expected to start at around 2:30 on ESPN 2 after previous game went long due to weather delay plus extra innings. So was it Honolulu? Was it the Hawaii game or was it the Texas game?
I don't remember.
Come on, Trace.
Dude, it's been a long month since we've been on here. Give me a break.
Yeah, there's a lot we need to catch up on.
Like our next favorite topic, our second favorite umpire in baseball, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's only one true great umpire, and his name is not C.B. Buckner or Angel Hernandez. Oh wait, that's right. It is Angel Hernandez because Angel Hernandez has never once blown a call ever.
Yeah. Well, if you don't know what we're talking about on this one, we just were talking about this a little bit today, and I would love to pull up the video, but I don't want us to get in trouble for it. St. Louis Cardinals game.
Sucked.
St. Louis Cardinals game. Oh, who was the batter before Arenado? Tim
Goldschmidt.
Goldschmidt.
Well, Goldschmidt popped out, but
before
popped
him,
out on like one pitch.
Before
Goldschmidt, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, if you want to watch the video,
the strike zone's this big, right? Okay, I'm gonna demonstrate it. For CB Buckner, it's this big, and it's off screen because pitcher got to a 2-0 count. Got 2-1. Good called strike on the 2-1 count. Got the 2-2, and I think the 2-2 pitch was a little questionable. Went to 3-2, and the pitcher throws a perfect strike on the bottom of the strike zone, and Buckner called it a ball. Guy goes on first. Goldschmidt comes up to bat, pops out first pitch, and that brings on Nolan Arenado, who decided that on his first pitch, he took a ball that was way off the plate. I mean, that was not even close. Buckner called it a strike, and he turns around and goes, "What?"
Yeah. Yeah, it was bad.
And then all of a sudden, Arenado strikes out, and their interim manager, whatever he is at this point, comes out and tells CB Buckner about himself and tells him, "Yeah, you need to retire. Just be done. You're done with baseball.
Go. You need to go away." Okay, so I think I might have found his scorecard here.
And we've seen CB Buckner as an umpire. I mean, I saw him in person that game that we all went to on that Saturday for that concert.
Yeah.
And
he's bad.
Not as bad as Angel Hernandez, but he's right there. Those two should never be allowed to umpire in baseball ever again.
Buckner and Laz Diaz. And if you want to go see the video that we're referencing and afraid to pull up because we don't want to get it kicked off of Facebook again, was the John Boyd Media who sits there and does the lip reading. Just go to YouTube or Instagram and just search John Boy Media. Probably one of the first videos you can find, but good quality entertainment right there. And the thing with CB Buckner too is that just drives me crazy. He sits there and he baits people to come out and argue with him. I mean, the whole time he's sitting there just going, literally kind of doing one of these like, okay, who's it gonna be?
And actually, in that video, the video we're talking about, the announcers for the game, I think it was from both teams. Well, no, it's from.
Yeah, both teams' announcers were wondering which manager was going to get thrown out first. Yeah, because he was terrible for both sides.
And then I believe it was the announcers from St. Louis after Arenado was the one that got thrown out. All you heard them was just laughing. They knew. I mean.
And that's sad when you know you've got an umpire behind the plate. You're just sitting there going, well, I wonder what it's going to be today.
So the reason why we're kind of talking about this a little bit tonight, and you know about it, but those that don't, they're looking at possibly doing away with umpires behind home plate, an automated ball strike system, strike zone.
Well, it's not that. I did send you one in a
Yeah.
chat earlier where the minor league is toying with the idea and experimenting with a ball strike challenge, which can only be done by the pitcher, the catcher, or the batter.
Yeah, and
And
well, I
it's
was kind of
pretty
leading into that.
and it's pretty instantaneous where the catcher will literally go like, "Hey, take a look at that," to the umpire, and the umpire will turn around, give a signal, and then within like 3 seconds, it call either gets corrected or the call stands. So
Well,
I'm against robot umpires, and I'm against
the
any
voice
kind of
calm.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, I would say it all
I can
ties
live with that.
like it all ties in like at some point. Like they're talking about bringing in robot umpires where
No,
we don't actually have an
I would
umpire behind home
rather you
plate.
be able to challenge the ball strike
Oh, I agree.
than
I'm
robo
just,
ump.
oh, I agree. I'm just saying, like, it's guys like CB Buckner, Laz Diaz, and Angel Hernandez that is ruining what baseball umpires are and why they're even considering this robot umpire stuff because these
And
guys are bad. I mean, I don't think I've
they're
ever seen
bad.
it. I don't ever think I've seen a scorecard of any of them where they were
Good.
95% accurate.
I did the one I just pulled up for last, which I thought was the game. It was a pretty high accurate game, or for CB, but I
Which
thought I think
that's so weird though. It's rare. I mean, they're usually like mid 80s, high 80s, low 90s, but usually I don't hardly ever see them above 95% accuracy.
let me see if I can find it again here real quick, and then
It's just
I can share the screen here to see if it's the same one that we're looking at. Because that was 821 Arizona and St. Louis, right?
I believe so because John Boy's video was from yesterday.
Yeah. So let's see here.
It's
And then
my question is, other than banning them from like being able to do the World Series games, like why are they not being held accountable for their actions behind the plate?
that's a great question. That I don't know.
Because like there's no reason Arenado gets thrown out in that situation. I mean, that's a terrible, terrible pit, like terrible call.
There you go.
I understand it. I can share this one. Let me pull this up.
You probably have less tabs open than I do.
Not no, no, but I'll make it work here. Umpire scorecards right here. So this is the CB Buckner and
That was the one, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
his average is 94%.
Now, giving credit. Now, here's the thing where the how you got to read this. So it's 94%. I believe it's 94% within his zone.
Yeah.
So his zone, it was everything that was in that red area that was called, and then you have your traditional strike zone outlined with the lines clearly, and then it's pretty simple to break down from there.
Here, let me see if I can zoom in on this, just so we are clear here. Okay. Here's the normal strike zone.
Yeah.
See this with my mouse? This is the Buckner strike zone. That is a problem.
That what's the Pokemon that looks like it's just a blob of goo.
Oh yeah,
That's what it looks like.
I
That's
mean,
what
look right here.
Buck.
Called ball accuracy 95%. Called strike accuracy 92%. 3 of the 39 called strikes were true balls.
Yes, let's see if I can go back here and find a real bad game from Buckner. Let's take a look at his most recent game, which was, as of recording, the 26th. 26th? Wow, I can't talk. That's another one. Let's see here. Oh, here you go. Just to compare the zones. Copy link.
There's no reason that your accuracy. Oh my god, I can't even talk. Your accuracy shouldn't be at least 97% in baseball. Am I wrong?
Well, you should be above. With strike calls, you should be above 90%. What was the worst?
Here.
I want to see what the worst scorecard was.
So this is the one from Buckner on August 26th.
Yeah,
92% accuracy. His average, he was still below average. It's terrible. Like,
Okay, so let's see here.
And Tim, this is why baseball's changing, is because of this guy. This guy right here is one of the reasons why baseball's changing. I'm sorry, but it's pathetic. And I realized I spelled his name wrong on the banner.
Oh well.
He doesn't deserve the correct
Okay.
spelling. I'll fix it anyways. But he really doesn't deserve the.
It's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be one of those things that annoys you all game. Where was that? The one with the Angel Hernandez ones are usually pretty bad.
Well, so here, just so people can see, so you can go follow us on Twitter. But when you're on there, go ahead, if you're a baseball fan, follow these guys. Here's a bad one: Mike Eastabrook with the Cardinals and Braves game.
Yeah, this page is always good to go around and kind of say,
Steve.
"Oh, whoa, go back up. What was that one right there? What's that high strike call?"
Adrian Johnson,
82%.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can just find let's see if we can find a worse one. So right there's 82%. I mean, they get balls right. Glad they can count their balls, but we can't count a strike.
90%. That's not terrible for that guy. Oh, here's
one.
Stu.
Come on, Stu. I've never even heard of this guy.
Neither have I.
My God, look at all the Milwaukee, Chicago, and
78%.
Whoa, go back up. That looked like a bad one. No. Back down. No,
he was at 84%.
Guccione. Now keep going. I saw one there where I couldn't even see the circle. That one right there.
Oh, it's our boy Laz Diaz.
Laz. Good old Laz.
I mean, this is our point, though, and this is what we're kind of getting at, folks. Is like this is why we are looking at Robot.
Oh, what's that one?
75% Phil Cuzzy.
Phil Cuzzy.
We've had him before. He's
bad.
He calls a lot of inside pitches strikes.
I'm not seeing a lot of Angel here. Ooh, no, that one was pretty.
Yeah, I haven't really seen Angel's name pop up.
Yeah, maybe they're starting to learn to keep him out of the limelight.
Start putting him on one of the bases, huh?
But at least they're in the current rules. You can challenge all that BS.
Oh, here's a good one. Dan Bellino. I've seen him umpire. He's not terrible. This here is bad for him. I've seen him in games where he's very fair. Like if he's bad for one team, he's bad for another.
So go back up here. Go back to Dan's. One thing about Dan's here is you look at where his strike zone, where he was calling strikes, there's only one outside of that zone for that day.
Right.
That was called a strike. So yes, the ones that are outside of the traditional zone should be balls, but if he's calling them strikes for both sides, you really can't complain.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but...
You can because they're not legit strikes and whatnot, but he's being fair across the board for everybody. Malachi Moore, when the Phillies won 6-0 the other day. Yeah, I'm not seeing much.
No Angel. Let me look here, see if I can find a quick Angel one.
Well, here's another CB Buckner one.
Oh God.
He was 92% Milwaukee and the Cubs.
But look at all the balls.
Yeah, but look at it. So compared to that first one we showed and this one, look at the difference of his strike zone. So
yeah, the zone
it's very inconsistent. It's so inconsistent. It's so bad. So
umpires.
Yeah, I don't really see nothing for Angel, man. Like,
let's see. I'll pop him up here real quick. Let's get with his most.
Oh, I got one. Game. I got it. August 26th.
Yeah, that's the one I was just about to pull up.
Yep. Dodgers, Miami. That's actually not bad for Angel.
All over the place.
Yeah, but that's not bad for considering what his strike zone is. That's not bad for how accurate he was. So he didn't do completely terrible in that game.
Wasn't complete ass.
But every time I see his name, the only thing I can think about is the Schwarber.
Yeah,
deal.
The Schwarber blow up.
Yeah.
This mouse is horrible.
So, well, we're gonna get off that one. So, thank you, CB Buckner, for being there's words I want to use. There's words I want to use. I'm just not going to use them. He's not worth it. He's not worth those words.
Nah, he's not. But give us a follow on Twitter, just outside 3, and go follow Umpire Scorecards to take a look at the umpires.
So you can be mad with us every time we see the scorecard.
The collective. I can't tell you how many times I've heard a collective groan when I've been to a baseball game and they announce Angel Hernandez as one of the umpires.
Or
The entire
Lass,
stadium,
or
the entire
Buckner.
stadium just it deflates. Like, oh god.
Let's get into some good stuff. How about that?
I mean, I like ripping on umpires.
So do I. Let's get into some positive things here. For example,
Yeah, I'll positively rip the umpires.
Mickey Mantle. Fun fact.
Man.
Fun fact. I share
Fact.
a birthday with Mickey Mantle. October 20th.
Cool.
2 different years, obviously.
I would hope so.
But 1952 Mickey Mantle card that was found in an attic sold for $12.6 million.
I don't get it. And this is maybe something if you talk to Hollywood again about what makes this card so special. But I know I have a copy of this card somewhere, but it's clearly not the $1 million card. It's just it's a knockoff. But still, like, I don't understand what makes the card so special.
Well, let's so everybody is aware, the record before this was a Honus Wagner card. That's topped at 7.25 million. That was earlier this month. So you're talking
the finest condition example of the most iconic post-war card in the world. Whatever that means.
Dude, it's so insane. Dude just finds random here. So we're talking about this guy. Rosen's journey with the Mantle card started in the 1980s when he received a call from a local man who claimed to have a collection of mint 52 Topps cards that came from his dad. When Rosen arrived, he quickly realized the caller hadn't been lying and paid $125,000 for 5,500 cards, with this Mickey Mantle card being among the haul. After almost immediately selling the Mantle for $1,000, Rosen bought it back in '91 and flipped it again for $40,000 to Anthony Giordano. Now, some 30 years later, Giordano and his sons put the card up for auction, where it sold for $12.56 million, more than they bought it for.
So it looks like another one of these 52s that was graded a 9, so only 0.5 lower was 5.2. So you mean to tell me that the difference between 9 and a 9.5 is
$7 million?
I just don't get it. Now I get why the Honus Wagner card is worth it because of the story behind it.
Yeah.
And it being back when baseball cards were sold with tobacco, cigarettes or anything like that, and Honus Wagner didn't want the kids having access to tobacco, and he didn't want his card associated with it. So I get why that one became worth the money and why it became rare, but I don't understand this one. It's not like, I mean, I get that it's in great condition, but I don't understand the story, and maybe that's just because I'm not a card guy. Well, I don't know.
We'll have to talk to Hollywood and get his opinion, and so we can come back on this on a different time, because I'm curious too. Like, what makes this card $12.56 million?
What makes any piece of paper 12 point? Besides the check that the amount's written on,
the tree that it was cut from.
This card was cut from fine oak wood from the forest, and the tree was the oldest example of a redwood oak.
It was a 2,000-year-old tree.
Blue leaves. Yeah, 7,000-year-old tree that was down to its last root. And out of that last root, we decided to make a 1952 Mickey Mantle baseball card.
Oh, dude.
It's only 3 were made in the world. This one's the last living example.
This is a conversation we got to have with Hollywood, because I think his insight on this would be perfect. And it's just insane to me, though, like $12 million for a baseball card. Kudos to that family for deciding to auction.
Also, who the hell has $12 million laying around and be like, yeah, let's just spend it on a baseball card?
I can name a few baseball players that do.
Let's just go with average Joe Schmoes.
Elon Musk. He's average,
I
right?
said average.
He's
Not
average.
Yeah, average rocket maker and
Yeah.
average, businessman and you know Joe Rogan. Would probably
Extraordinaire.
Joe Rogan extraordinaire.
Some more good news for us to talk about. We're gonna have some, even at the last topics, we're gonna have some good news. So we're gonna have some funny news in it, to be honest with you. And I didn't share this with you because I was making it a surprise, but this one you know
Uh-oh.
about. The World Baseball Classic team for the United States is being announced slowly but surely.
Slowly,
Um,
very, very slowly.
so far,
But
impressive. So far, we'll get into the coaches here in a little bit. Um, So far, the roster consists of JT Realmuto, Will Smith, Pete Alonso, Paul Goldschmidt, Trevor Story, Nolan Arenado, Tim Anderson, Mookie Betts, Bryce Harper, Cedric Mullins, Mike Trout, and Kyle Tucker. We have yet to get any pitchers to be named to the roster. But so far, this is shaping up to be a really, really good baseball team.
and makes me makes me ask the question: Is are they going to go with designated hitters or are pitchers going to hit? Because you got a problem here with your first baseman and your
You got a
outfield.
problem. I'll say you got a problem with the outfield.
Well, yeah,
First base is pretty.
As in who plays versus who hits.
Oh, dude, come on! You and I both know who's gonna be playing first base.
Goldschmidt.
Yep. I'm sorry.
Then
I like Pete, but
if
you're coming off the bench, bro.
But if there's a DH, you could throw Pete in. But if there's not a DH, what do you do with Harper? Like if he's not going to be able to throw yet.
It depends on who's the pitching matchups. You just switch them. Pete's a right-handed bat. Bryce is a left-handed bat.
But then
that's a simple solution.
But what if there's no DH? And then what do you just pinch hit Harper?
Why not? If he can't throw, why not?
Seems like a bit of a waste. I mean, it seems like a.
Not necessarily. I guarantee you though, but they're going to go with they're going to end up with a DH. They usually stick to regular Major League Baseball rules because that's what 3/4 of this tournament is.
Is the governing body of the World Baseball Classic Major League Baseball? Are they the governing body?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because it would, if they were, it would make sense. But if it's like an international committee, who runs the world?
Here, World Baseball Classic rules and regulations. Oh my God, that's a lot of playing rules. Designated hitter, official base.
Let's see. Sanctioned from 06 to 13 by the International Baseball Federation, and after 13 by the World Baseball Softball Confederation. So WBSC in partnership with Major League Baseball. So Major League Baseball has a say. So it could be just Major League rules.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna have the DH.
It would make sense.
No pitchers overused. They can't exceed 95 pitches. So they're not gonna. If they're not gonna be overused, that means there's gonna be a designated hitter.
Yeah, and then 95 pitches. It's gonna be I'm gonna call it a little league rule, but
yeah,
in terms of rest days versus how much you can throw and all of that.
Oh, here we go. I just found it. Rules of play: pitch counts. 85 pitches per game in the qualifying round, 65 pitches per game in the first round, 80 pitches per game in the second round.
65?
Yep. And then 80 pitches in the second round and 95 in the championship round. A minimum of 4 days have passed since he last pitched if he threw 50 or more pitches. 1 day if he threw 30 or more. And a minimum of 1 day has passed since any second consecutive day on which the pitcher pitched. So you can pitch no more than...
so you can pitch 2 days under 30, but you're required
that's for the bullpen. That's for basically the bullpen. Mercy rule. Games are called if one team is ahead by 10 or more runs after any complete inning, beginning with the completion of the 7th inning, or 15 or more runs after any complete inning, beginning with the completion of the 5th inning. Mercy rules do not apply during the championship round, and the designated hitter rule applies for all games.
Okay, so that solves that. So that means Goldschmidt plays first, and then you DH Alonso and Harper pending matchup.
Tim.
What?
Tim.
What? Breaking news?
Extra innings.
Ghost runner.
Not just 1.
2.
on first and second.
Oh my god. But Ghost Runner. See, Ghost Runner in actual Major League Baseball does not make sense. When you're in a tournament and you have to fit so many games in a certain amount of days, it makes sense. So I'm not going to complain about it in this setting.
Oh,
I'm going to.
oh wait, no. Hold on. Oh my God, this is even worse.
Oh god.
Starting with the 11th inning, teams automatically start with runners on first and second base. So it's only after 11 innings does the ghost runner come into play.
Bruh.
What? What?
Bruh.
Oh my god.
God.
Yeah, this.
God. I try not to swear on this show, and I think I do a really good job.
The son of a bitch.
And if I'm allowed one swear an episode, I think I'm going to use it here. God fucking damn it.
Yeah.
God damn it. All right.
Yeah. That's. I got a problem with that one. But,
So, because I was blank staring into the camera, so it only starts in the 11th?
yeah. Ghost runner on first and second in the 11th inning.
But no Ghost Runner in the 10th.
No.
So what makes the 11th so special? Double ones, baby.
Now, it doesn't say anything about a ghost runner in the 10th inning. It just says 2 ghost runners on base in the 11th inning. So I would assume 1 in the 10th.
Though that does... It makes it a little bit interesting because if you're just on second, a ground ball to the right side advances them to third with 1 out.
Yeah.
Now, if you go on first, you could at least roll 2. And that way you've got 2 outs with the guy on third. So that one... I like it a little bit more than what Major League Baseball's is because it comes on later, but I still hate the Ghost Runner.
I agree.
I still hate the Ghost Runner.
I agree. Well, we got about 13 minutes left in the show. So let's get into this.
We can talk more about how I was right.
Because I'm telling you, we could have like an hour-long discussion about how much we hate the Ghost Runner. So
yeah, we really could.
I am going to start out with something I haven't even told you about yet, but I'm sure you saw it, and it makes me laugh hysterically because if I tell you a name, are you going to remember?
Buckner's Strike Zone?
No, if I tell you this name, are you going to know who it is?
Maybe.
Zach Campbell.
Oh God, I know where you're going with this. The no fun police. This guy's a freaking... I've tried watching some of his videos. I tried. I gave him a chance. And I get that he makes content, and I get that he does things, but the dude acts like an overgrown child trying to chase down home run balls.
Okay, so for those that don't know...
I've got 700 some odd home run balls.
Oh, it's 7,000. He has 7,000.
Great. So that means
over 7,000.
That means he shoved over 7,000 kids out of the way, probably.
So Zach Campbell, for those that don't know, is a baseball home run collector guru.
He's a very big fan.
He goes around and tries to catch home run balls. Well,
and let me preface by this: it's a very good business model for him, and he's probably made a good amount of money, and he gets to go around and visit every ballpark and see any matchup that he wants, which is the dream for any fan. So congratulations on Zach for achieving that dream.
And to his credit, yes, he has pushed people out of the way, but he has also given away a lot of balls over the years too.
Yeah, he has.
So
that's a good point.
Kudos. But what we're talking about is he went and wanted to catch a home run at the Rockies because I don't know if he actually has any from Colorado. So he bought a ticket.
So the most home run hitter friendly ballpark for the man that has all the most home run balls.
Yeah. So he buys a ticket, right? And he goes to his seat and it's like, I need to move 10 feet over that way. My right, your left. And that's the way I'm going to catch baseball. And an usher said, nope, you have to sit in your assigned seat. And he went on this tirade about how they're no fun, they're strict, blah 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 blah
Worst
blah
fan
blah.
experience ever, and
Dude, you have like however many home run balls. Shut up.
yeah. Now, the one thing I will also give Zach credit for is he has petitioned for the fans getting back into the ballpark when batting practice is going on.
Yeah.
Because you can't go watch batting practice anymore, which I think sucks.
I agree. I always loved going in for batting practice.
Yeah, go get your spot early and then just, try to catch a ball.
Yeah.
But,
So,
not make a living
dude,
out of it.
this is so childish, though. Like, come on. You have an assigned seat. Who cares? Just sit there. If a ball comes to you, it comes to you. If not, like, whatever.
I think his argument was that they weren't allowing him to get up, but everybody else was. So I guess that they were singling him out. And
Oh boy!
he was
So you
like,
can't
well,
have
that's some
11.
BS.
So you can't have 11,001 baseballs. Oh,
Not on
my goodness,
Not on my watch, buddy.
dude. If he's okay, here's where my problem lies with this. If he knows, it seems like he knows where most home runs go. Am I wrong? Based on what it sounds like.
It's not that hard to assume, depending who the hitter is, but
in each ballpark where most of the home runs are hit, he probably knows where
the majority go,
they go, okay.
Or where the best chance is.
So why would you not buy a ticket for that spot?
Because you always change on the hitter. Sometimes he tries to go for the foul balls. Sometimes he tries to go for the home run. But
I'm just saying, if you're going for the home run balls and you know where the ball is more than likely going to get hit in that ballpark, why would you just not buy a ticket for that ballpark in that section?
I don't know.
Not those seats.
I have a thing then for when we want to talk about certain seats in a ballpark. If we want to include this in the headlines,
go for it. I mean, I brought up the Zach Campbell thing for headlines.
So. This is the Oakland incident. Yeah, that incident. This incident. Show me your love of the game. And have you seen some of the signs that have?
Oh my God, they're so great.
Keep your head in the game.
Well, you know what's really funny?
Don't blow it.
What's really funny is I don't know if I sent it to you and John on it or not. I know it was on TikTok, but it's also on Instagram and stuff too. There was this kid and his cousin. His cousin just graduated from college, and they did all 30 ballparks in 90 days, and they were rating them on scales. Right?
You and I were talking about this at the men's club, I think.
Yeah. So just for
to catch everyone.
So you can continue on with your part of the story so people understand. So this kid they're from Philadelphia. The cousin went to Dickinson, which is near us, Tim and I and John and I and all of us. They did all 30 ballparks in 90 days, rating them for outside experience, fan experience, inside, food, all that stuff. So, of course, they had to go do Oakland, and Oakland was rated the worst stadium that they went to. So, Tim, continue so people can paint the picture on how bad Oakland's Coliseum is. Why this is a story.
So, I mean, wait, in terms of why it's the worst stadium, or why that
why this is okay. So what makes this, if you look at this so-called picture and video that happened, there's nobody in that section. There's nobody in that entire upper deck because nobody goes to Oakland for a baseball game except for these two.
Well, no, I don't think they were there for the baseball game. I think they were there for something else.
I'm trying to be PG, bud. All right.
I'm not. Let's see here, but if you open this second link I'm going to send you, it's safe. You're not going to see it. I believe you have to disclose that you want to see.
They visit the seat of the. Yeah, I saw this. Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah. Go ahead and share.
Suck. Yeah, these seats suck.
Yeah, go. Yeah. You can share, or if you want to share the screen, you can scroll down.
And this is from the New York Post, so thank you, New York Post, for.
Yeah. So. And if
here's the seat that apparently happened in.
All right, we're here at the
Yeah. So this is the view you have of
of the game.
Of the game. Maybe.
Don't know which game. Don't know.
Yep, there
don't
it
know
is.
which game. Yep.
Yeah, that's a great view right there.
But if you look at how empty this is. So
Well, it's also a football stadium.
Well, right. So here's some signs.
Yeah, and I believe the next one. Okay, so you have to click. No, jeez.
Yeah, we'll skip that.
Yeah, skip that.
We'll skip that.
Skip that one. And then
wait, hold on.
What's
A's now have security.
Have security.
But so to my point of what I was getting at earlier with that and why this is funny and a big deal for everybody is because if you look at how empty the stadium is, that's the one thing that those guys said in their little show that they were doing.
Yeah, and it doesn't shock me either. I mean, not only is the stadium garbage, the team isn't competitive at all. It's just it in Oakland, and for the history that Oakland has and the franchise has, like, it deserves so much more.
Also, we would like to point out that those kids that had the signs up, they got kicked out of the game.
Yes, they did. They did get kicked out of the game.
So that didn't surprise me any.
They well, that's not the only thing that surprised them, or surprised Oakland. You know, this is probably the most. It's sad to say this is probably the most media attention Oakland's gotten the entire year.
Probably, other than the Moneyball story.
That was 2004.
Yeah, it still counts. All right.
Yeah, we forget, and Moneyball forgets that they had a Cy Young winner, Barry Zito, or MVP Miguel Tejada, and they also had Mark Mulder and Tim Hudson and Eric Chavez. But let's focus on Scott Hatteberg and David Justice.
Right. A couple more things here. Philly's got Harper back.
Let's roll.
Yay.
About time. And how good was it to see that lineup at full strength for the first time in months?
And how awesome of an ovation was it that Harper got?
Just place blew up. But of course, and he couldn't have scripted it any better. He comes up with the bases loaded.
Yeah. And he gets a 2-run single out of it.
Did you,
but you know what? So who was I talking to about this? I think it's my uncle I was talking to about this, who's a Nationals fan. And we said, yeah. So I'm going to show this on there just because it's. Nope, that is not us that does the broadcast for the league race. But thanks for tuning in to the baseball show. That'd be Checkers and Wreckers that usually puts that on there, which you can catch me on there on the podcast when we do our next show. Yeah. I lost my train of thought there for a second.
Your uncle's a Nationals fan?
Yeah, so my uncle and I were talking about this. So younger Harper was arrogant and an a-hole, and it was hard to like root for him. But since he's like grown up, and since he's come to Philly, it's kind of cool to see how chilled out he has become, and how like he's all about the fans now. Like when he was in Washington, he was a me guy. He wasn't about anybody else. He was all about himself. He is not about himself anymore, and it is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like he really flipped his personality since he came to Philly.
Oh yeah, and I think that was more the he was looking for a place to begin his family, have somewhere where his family can stay for the next decade plus. So just the more mature guy putting his, I don't want to say put his family before himself, but looking for the best possible situation.
Yep.
So, and he definitely did that. I cannot find. There's a clip that's pretty hysterical. It's of course it's a SpongeBob clip with Bryce Harper coming back and everybody losing their minds. But hold
on. I'm gonna show this since we're talking about Harper. I just found this on Facebook from Barstool Sports Philly. Okay.
Okay.
You haven't seen this yet, I'm sure. You ready for this?
Hit me. Oh, I just saw the thumbnail, but I didn't play it.
It's not a video. It's just a picture.
I ride with Philly Bob.
This is what I'm talking about, dude.
Harper threw Girardi under the bus.
Oh, he did
in his latest press conference, or in his last one.
But this is what I'm talking about, though. Like, this is a Harper that you would not have gotten in Washington.
No, and also too, I think the Nationals really again, the front office screwed that up. They had 2 generational outfielders, and they lost both of them. One to free agency, and they were at least smart and traded the other. They offered bad contracts. They offered things that the guys felt wasn't, proving what they were worth, or probably in terms of Harper, not really fully getting behind him and not paying him as if he's the guy. Because I guess Soto was there, and I guess they viewed Soto as the guy, but then they never really paid Soto what Soto thought he was worth. So, vicious circle.
Give me one more headline, Tim, before we get off of here. It could be from the last month. I mean, we talked about the trade deadline stuff, so it can be anything.
I'm just trying to think here because the Oakland thing's just hysterical. That's my funniest thing. Oh, I was at the Phillies game a couple of weeks ago, where the only game that they won against the Mets in 6. So there was that, and Kyle Schwarber of all people had a triple, and we can't play the audio for this one thing, but somebody put the Pirates of the Caribbean theme behind Kyle Schwarber.
Dude, he runs so weird. His run is so weird. It's great. I love it.
Well, let me. I can send you the link here, but probably don't want to play any of the audio.
We can probably post it in the comments.
Oh, can I do that?
Yeah, you should be able to.
You might be able to. I might not.
Right.
But
I'll post it here in the comments.
It's on my Twitter page if you want to go find that.
Oh, I got it right here. We'll post this into the comments. Oh my goodness, so gracious. Well, I won't let me. I'm hitting.
Let's see. Unless you got to go into the Facebook and comment it there.
I'll probably have to do it to the Facebook.
Oh well, whatever. Just go, if you search up the Twitter page is Phillies News.
Nope. Got it.
There it is.
Got it. There it is. Okay. So for I need to mute. Anyways, so I don't really have anything else other than we'll be.
Oh, Julio Rodriguez.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Julio. J-Rod got paid lots of money,
and that's a weird deal. That's a did you read it starts as like an 8-year, $140 million, and that's the base.
Yeah, still terrible deal.
It starts as an 8-year 140, but then you have certain options between the player and the team, which could make it 8 or 10 years additional or 5. And then you get more money based on MVP finals and all of that. So the whole thing could end up being like a 14, 15-year contract in like the 400 million range, or it could be at worst an 8-year 140. It's such a strange contract.
It's a dumb contract. All based on what he's doing in his rookie year. I mean, there's nothing that says he's going to.
That's what I was gonna say too. But if he does keep it up, and you're only going to pay him 140 million for 8 years, and you knock out all of the arbitration years, it's not bad. And then if he continues to keep it up, you have the club option, which gives you either 8 or 10 additional years, and then it bumps it to like 200. It's like a 200 million some extension after that, making the total contract like worth 3 something. And it's weird. If it's the future of contracts, I don't want it to be like every player's contract, because it's going to get confusing quick.
Let's just keep it simple. 13 years, $330 million.
That would be simple.
Well, we kept it simple with MV3, so.
That's because we're Philadelphia and we know how to do that. Did you see the stupid Orioles stat of players with the last names beginning with RUT and their career home runs?
No.
Oh, the Orioles did something dumb like that, where it was like Babe Ruth, 714, some guy never heard of, like 30, and then Adley Rutschman, 8. And then they highlighted that Ruth and Rutschman share a birthday.
Oh, my God.
It was the dumbest of dumb stats. It's one of those ESPN, this hitter leads the team in doubles when the weather is 75 degrees or warmer in the month of June at a game that starts at 6:05 when a left-hander is on the mound whose secondary pitch is a breaking ball that tops no more than 86 miles an hour.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's
a
one
lot
of
to
those.
take in. That's a lot to take in. Well,
That's what she said.
oh God, that's what she said too. Anyways, final thought.
Death to all stupid stats.
Oh, you ain't lying. I'm gonna end with check out the Dukes. I think they're doing a show this week, previewing and probably a little bit of college football talk. That starts this week. Super kicking it with Steven. Our boy here, Tim, has been joining in on that on Sundays, usually Sunday nights.
Steve, there's a big weekend of wrestling coming up, so I believe they're going live Friday, possibly Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But keep an eye out because they're going to be hitting it hard this weekend.
We'll try and be back on our normal Sunday morning schedules. If we can all just, get our stuff figured out.
Yeah.
And then racing, we might be live tomorrow. If not, we're going to pick a different time slot to do our show. We just came back after having a few weeks off for there too. So we're trying to get back in the swing of that. So you can check us out, Checkers and Wreckers. You got, like I said, over here, you got Super Kicking It with Steven, the Dukes of Football. You got State of Basketball doing shows here and there. Combat Zone should soon be back. And you got us here just a bit outside. Check out all of our great partners at the bottom of the screen. If you aren't sure what they are, and it goes by too fast, we got Elite Performance, What's Poppin' Corn Snacks, Bare Knuckle Corn Snacks as well, Revved Up Tattoos, and mybookie.ag. Raphael is a very good guy when it comes to bets. If you're trying to make some bets, please check them out. Use the promo codes that are posted at the bottom of this show and all of our other shows and try and win some money. Tell them that the boys from Just a Bit Outside sent you, or the boys from the Dukes, or all of us at BW Sports sent you. So.
BW Sports sent you.
Yeah. So from all of us at the network, all of us, Tim and I both from this show, we thank you, and we will hopefully see you